Hey guys, it's Kelsey, and today we are doing the Disney Hop from Christina, so I will link everybody in the description. This is the mood board. I went to Pinterest basically and Googled, Pinterest searched Moana mood board basically to find my inspiration for this one. I knew I wanted to do a Hawaii photo. I knew I wanted to use more of this Felicity Jane Gina collection, and I knew I wanted to incorporate Disney in that way. So I don't have any Disney photos, but I really wanted to take the inspiration from this hop to do something like this. So that mood board that ended up coming up was very Moana, but it also had a few like the Little Mermaid, like some Ariel inspiration, which I still thought was appropriate because I'm looking out at the ocean. So I'm just basing this entire layout pretty much on that mood board, as well as a quote from the movie. So you'll see that a little bit later on. I wasn't thinking about pulling green really into this page until I saw the mood board, and then you have Ariel's tail, which is green. You also have Moana, the stone is green, so I thought that would be kind of appropriate in that sense to pull it in. I don't really think of green when I think of the ocean, but because of the mood board, I'm pulling it in, and I think it turns out really well. So I did just matte this entire background on this solid green paper, and then the entire background is going to be this light blue wood grain, which I thought could read very oceany, even though it is a wood grain. So that's where I'm starting, and then I'm just matting my photo in the same green I'm matting the page in. So that's where I'm starting. I'm pulling in a lot of scraps. I'm also pulling in all the ephemera that I have from the Gina collection. I mentioned previously that I've been using this Gina paper collection, and I didn't realize I actually did have some of the ephemera for it. So I have the puppy stickers, these thread bows, and these chipboard hearts. So I made sure to pull them out so I could hopefully pull them into this page. So I definitely want to use some of the green. I even pulled out this kind of peachy color that also goes with the collection, but that darker green one especially really reminded me of Ariel's mermaid tail, as well as the heart of Te Fiti, which is that spiral looking stone you see in the movie Moana. So I wanted to make sure to get that kind of shiny deep green on the page. So you'll see I put it there, and then I scalloped. Actually, I think I already fussy cut that scallop from a previous page, but I am going to pull that in. I just wanted some horizontal strips to run across this photo so I can have a place for that little bow to sit. I knew I wanted it over the photo just to add a little bit of interest. This is just me. This is when we got to the end of the Kaena Point hike on Oahu, Hawaii. This is our favorite hike. Whenever we visit, we definitely do this hike. It's right near where my brother lives on North Shore. So at the end, there's all these like volcanic cliff rocks that you can climb on all over. It's like a human jungle gym. It's so much fun. But it looks over this beautiful water, and just the way the surf is and the way the waves roll in is just so pretty. So I have this picture that my mom or my brother, one of them, took of me looking out towards the ocean, and I thought it was really appropriate. You have the blue sky, the blue water, and then I'm wearing this pink shirt and I'm pulling in pink. Moana wears pink, so I thought that would be appropriate. So I'm just cutting a little fishtail banner here, and then I'm laying those horizontal strips back across the photo. I kind of was hemming and hawing about doing that. I usually don't like laying paper layers over the photo, but I'm not terribly excited the way my legs look in this photo, so I feel like covering up a small portion of that I'll be okay with. So I'm just going to use this blue polka dot branding strip. I'm going to cut that down a little bit and then have this pink scalloped piece going over the top of it. So that's going to be the layers there, and then I'm going to put that green bow back. You can see the green bow is in the upper left hand corner. I just did put some Tombow Mono multi glue on the back of that so it can dry a little bit. That way I have some I can move it if I need to. I really don't want to stick that down yet in case I decide to move it around, because that glue is super strong if you use it while it's wet. If you wait till it dries, then it becomes a very strong but temporary glue, so I can pick up the bow if I need to and move it. So that's what that's doing, hanging out up there. I really like how these layered chipboard hearts looked. I definitely wanted to pull in hearts because the whole kind of concept of Moana is that Maui stole the heart of Te Fiti. The whole movie Moana is trying to return the heart to Te Fiti, so I think putting the shape of a heart on this layout is also very reminiscent of that movie and that inspiration, even though I like putting hearts on everything anyways. That's what I'm doing. So I did just take a few gold and a few green chipboard hearts, and I really like how they look layered up, so you can see that I kind of stuck them together. I did put some foam on the back of the smaller heart that overlaps just so it all lays flat. And now I'm going for my title. So I knew I wanted to use a quote which was going to use a lot of letters, and I did not have an entire thicker set of anything that had the amount of E's, T's, whatever else in it that I needed for this title. So I do have a die set of an alphabet. So I did just take a scrap of that green paper that I've used to mat the layout and the photo, and I'm just using that to actually punch out my title. So this title is from a song that's in Moana, and it is see that line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me. And I thought that was really appropriate because I'm looking out at the horizon where the sky meets the sea. So I thought that would be a really cool way to also bring in that Disney inspiration. This is a great way if you have any kind of vacation, beach photos, playing in the tub, anything like that with your kids, and you're kind of stuck for inspiration, especially if they like a Disney movie. You can find really easy inspiration by Googling quotes and stuff like that from them, even kind of going to Pinterest and searching mood boards with that kind of title or whatever. And that's what I ended up doing, because as soon as I found out we were doing this Disney hop, I really wanted to participate, but I knew I didn't have any actual Disney themed pages to do. So I thought this was a really cool way to do it by pulling in this title and using a mood board for kind of the color inspiration. So that's where the title's going to go. I ended up just gluing it down in these kind of staggered lines. But then once I did that, I kind of felt like, okay, now I need to continue this diagonal design, because that's kind of what the title ended up doing, going down to the photo. So I am going to finish off this title with these gold thickers. Since I do have these gold hearts, I figured I should pull in a little bit more gold. So I am using these. I think they're called Template. And that's going to finish off the title with gold underneath the photo. So, but then again, since I did pull in a little bit more gold, I felt like I needed a little bit more gold up at the top. So I pulled in this gold and white tag, as well as a doily and a glassine bag. I think that makes a really nice little layery cluster and a place for all my embellishment to start sitting. I thought at first those two layered hearts were going to go in the upper right hand corner, but now that I have this more diagonal design, I wanted to tuck it a little lower next to this little embellishment cluster I've been making. And then since I already glued down the title at the top and my photo and everything, it was kind of writing up high on the page, and I had a larger gap on the bottom of the layout than I really needed, so I did decide just to run a few horizontal strips of paper and washi to kind of fill in the bottom part of the gap so that it didn't look so disproportional. So I am fussy cutting the green strip from the solid piece of paper, and then I'm also going to pull in a few pink washi tapes to kind of fill out that section on the bottom so there's not such a huge gap and so that the rest of the title fits down there nicely. So I have this kind of white and creamish, I don't know, white and pink plaid and then I'm putting this green scallop over the top, as well as this little row of skinny washi that has a bunch of hearts on it. So again, replicating the hearts, I really wanted to incorporate that. I love hearts on any page anyways, but definitely because I am doing this kind of Moana theme, definitely wanted more hearts the merrier. So I tucked that down there. I think that fills in that space really well. So now I'm putting in the rest of the title, and I think that just fills in that gap perfectly, because I knew once I put that title down there, if I didn't have those strips, there'd be such a weird gap down there, and I wanted to make sure I addressed that. So I am threading the tag with some gold and white twine, and then I think I am going to glue down these layers pretty soon. I'm keeping in my mind that I know I have the little heart cluster up there by the glassine bag and the doily. I also know where I'm putting that little green tulle bow down lower on the photo next to me. And so with this kind of banner coming out of the left, I know that where those other two hearts are, that's going to be my third cluster. So I kind of have my rule of threes. I, for a minute, play around with moving all of this because I wanted to spread out the embellishment and stuff other places, because I was thinking that title at the top looked very plain. So that's why you see me move them around a little bit, but it kind of distorts the visual triangle I was going for. So I took them off again. But I did add some washi to the top of that layer to bring that into another spot. And I'm going to gut the background to save that piece for another layout and glue down the photo layers, and then I will go to finish the page. I did kind of play around with adding some more tulle bows because I was so mad at myself that I'm kind of down at the end of this Gina paper pad and had all of this ephemera for the Gina collection left over. So I did decide to go back and pull in the other two bows that I was looking at earlier, the lighter green one and the kind of corally pink one, but it takes me a minute to kind of figure out where they're gonna go. I really like the visual triangle I already have with these two areas of layered hearts and the green bow. So it takes me a minute to figure out what I'm gonna do with the other bows. I almost think I'm done here, but I thought it's still too plain. I just needed something more. I did go in, since I did introduce some gold, I wanted to pull some gold up into the title. So I basically used this DIY shop gold glitter enamel dots and sprinkled them across the whole page. I put a few down by the bow so that wouldn't be by itself, and then up throughout the title. And then I took some gold Heidi Swapp Color Shine to sprinkle some gold across the whole page. And I feel like that really helps tie in that diagonal design and pull all these elements together. And then again, here I go with these bows. I really wanted to pull in some more. So I just jimmy rigged the hearts a little bit and moved them around so they kind of were all clustered together. But I think I like how that turned out. It's still kind of a more simple page, but there's a lot of different elements going on with it. So I think when I always do a larger title, it always ends up a little more simple because I want it to be able to be read and stand out. But here are the close-ups. Make sure you check out everybody else's Disney inspiration. I'm sure by the time this goes live, we'll have a link for everybody, so you can just look in this description for that. Thanks guys so much for watching. Bye.